At Xbox, our vision is for you to play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want.
Xbox has snatched gaming away from its competitors. How did it do it? It leveraged what I've always argued is the ecosystem of ecosystems, which is the Renegade ecosystem PC. Now, I know I had to fight through all of the resistance of the Xbox fan base and the extreme resistance of the hyper PlayStation fan base to kind of convey this. But I'm glad that, I did my own work to erode a lot of what I thought were false perceptions as to how gaming had been, in a sense, portrayed to gamers. Now, you had to sit in this unique ecosystem where all of these benefits were handed or afforded to you, when in reality, they were just milking cash from you.
That's why we're investing in our next generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories.
The one that kind of lost the console war is the one that then found it expedient to open the ecosystems because money can be made there. The ones that remain on closed ecosystems remain there because they also believe money can be made there. However, because of the change, the one who lost first ran first. And the one who ran first and ran alone got castigated and got mocked and got browbeaten. And now, because they finally remembered, oh, wait, we run the Renegade ecosystem called Windows. Why don't we go ahead and snatch it away from everybody who's been using Windows to basically almost try to kill our business, PlayStation included? They make their games using Windows PCs. Have you guys watched any PlayStation developer, whatever, where they've shown you some of the studio stuff? Look very carefully at those computers. Go watch the making of God of War. Go watch the making of any of these games when they're using their tools. Watch very carefully. Yet, these folk have basically woken a sleeping bear.
I am thrilled to share we've established a strategic multi-year partnership with AMD to co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of devices, including our next-generation Xbox consoles, in your living room and in your hands. Together with AMD, we are advancing the state of art in gaming silicon to deliver the next generation of graphics innovation to unlock a deeper level of visual quality.
Yes.
And immersive gameplay and player experiences enhanced with the power of AI.
Yo, that's what PC gaming's been doing all this while. I mean, console wants to now come out here, Xbox wants to now come out here and be like, yeah, we're going to give it all to you. Yeah, it's always been there for the taking. But I'm happy that somebody had to lose the walled garden wars to eventually bring it over to everybody.
All while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games.
Compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games. Now, ain't that something? Oh, boy. This is one side of it that I say, you know what? Xbox, I'm glad that you guys are finally making amends and going to sensibility, because I've always thought that why did you guys even bother going to make a locked ecosystem for your own users? All this while, you should have given your users the ability to do both on your hardware without any problems. You're a computer company, for crying out loud. You're a software company. You literally have what I think is one of the biggest software systems in the world, one of the more open software systems with utility and usefulness across various applications. Hospitals enjoy Windows. They use it for a lot of their applications. As much as the talk in the gaming industry is that, oh, Windows has its problems, I got to tell all those people who've said that to get off their Windows computers that they're using to record those statements or write those statements and go use Linux for about a week and then come back and talk about, oh, Windows this, Windows that. Yes, Microsoft is probably one of the companies that we probably would hate to basically hold monopolies in terms of these areas. But by golly, everybody else is either sleeping or locking themselves in ecosystems to make more money. Apple. Right? So somewhere, somehow, you find out that there's another competitor there to kind of keep them maybe in somewhat check. Unless you're kind of like, I don't know, people who buy Apple computers, man. Just let you and I not have a conversation, okay? I'll make you mad. Just letting you know.
This is all about building you a gaming platform that's always with you, so you can play the games you want across devices anywhere you want, delivering you an Xbox experience not locked to a single store or tied to one device.
Bro, see, if you've been playing on console, you're about to be handed a key. I'm sorry, guys. I was gonna make this video with a straight face and act all serious, like, this is some big thing. But the truth is, I can't help but, tell you guys that this is not something that we didn't see coming. This is not something that, now I have to confess to you. Did I see this layer coming? I doubted it. I had to doubt it because I did not want to go ahead and be wrong. However, seeing the Xbox users who had dialed into this say to me, yo, pay attention. Xbox wants to cook over here. Let me tell you what it is that you're about to start enjoying. Are you listening? Because it used to be always like, oh, AMD would make these hardware pieces and all that stuff. But it seems like these guys want to basically crank this stuff open to you. And you're about to walk into the realm where you now have consumer advocacy as a means of profit aligned with your interests. Don't get me wrong. These companies can go rogue on you. I'm just saying now, though, it is in their most strategic benefit that they align with you, the customer. Lisa Sue, Mama Sue. I don't know if you guys know, in the, PC hardware world, Lisa Sue is very well respected. Thank God for her for bodying Intel. I know I have some PC guys here that like Intel. I know. But it was necessary. Intel kind of, they started acting a fool. They made me start begging for CPUs and motherboards. And I just, as a customer, I don't like that kind of stuff. If I'm going to give you money, you have to earn it or respect it. She says, so proud to continue our deep partnership with Xbox 3, P3, Sarah Bond, to bring the next generation of gaming experiences everywhere. Sarah Bond responds and said, thank you, Lisa. I feel the same. Phil Spencer is going to walk out of his job at Microsoft, having changed the entire paradigm of video gaming for the next few years, taking away the walled gardens, disrupting the whole mindset of exclusivity and some sort of benefit, and handing the gamer every single benefit, including the PlayStation gamer and the Nintendo gamer. You guys are about to learn what it's like to actually enjoy your games in today's paradigm, where you can open up your documents from everywhere or anywhere. You've been able to do that. You've been able to access your photos, your files, your music, all of these media aspects. You've been able to access your movies, your library of digital software, whether you subscribe, whether you bought, I said digital software, digital media, whether you bought it, whether you subscribed. But some still want to gatekeep video games, even when they've been enjoying all of these benefits in other media, every single one of them. But now gaming is taking that approach, and somewhere, somehow, you're going to see a very, very interesting screech come out of this particular paradigm. These people have all been saying that somewhere, somehow, Xbox was going to walk away from hardware. No. I was on a podcast a few weeks ago, a week or 2 or 3 ago. And, I was very distracted actually that evening. Some people may or may not know. I said something about it in my comments. We had bad weather where we were. And if you live in the Midwest, or you live in the plains, or you live in the South, you know that you don't play around with that stuff. So my mind was kind of away from things. But I said something. I said, Xbox is still making more money on the console by itself compared to any other measure or means that it makes money from. Simply because when you look at, say, something like Game Pass and how much money that subscription service brings in, and then top it off with the game sales from third party, there is no other measure within which you can find Xbox making money. Plus, if Xbox decided now that it could replace this projected $5 billion this year, I'm thinking it's around $4 billion. Why would it want to delete a $4 billion income stream? Only people who ignore business sense say stuff like that comfortably. Usually you should say something like that and it should make you either gag or make you have like an adverse internal physiological reaction when you say it. Because the health of the business, do you understand that there are jobs and livelihoods and lives that depend on this? As much as many of us will say, big corpo can be nasty, most of us still understand that it's kind of a necessity that they are, in a sense, functioning properly so that those who are working and getting their livelihood from them can do so. Hopefully they're building their side hustles, though. Don't go be waiting for Uncle Big Corpo to continue to, just saying. But you can extract your daily bread from these means. And so when I looked at the numbers, I said to myself, there's just no way Xbox is going to look at console, walk away from it after having spent the last few years supporting the Xbox One console. That is just, that's, can I please be real and just say that that's absolutely stupid and asinine? And yet there were people running all over the place. Even some of you pundits, some of you called yourselves analysts. I think I'm more disappointed in the fact that people actually have trusted that these folk would be the ones to actually inform them, or at least have enough humility to say, we're not certain in these areas, right? But here's the worst case scenario and here's the best case scenario. They never even posited it that way. They just jumped on this wagon that somewhere, somehow, that Xbox was going to leave the hardware business. This is probably going to be the last Xbox generation of Xbox. There's no such thing as generation of Xbox console anymore if you have not yet paid attention enough. It doesn't exist. They've been supporting the Xbox One generation, and they're going to support the Series S and X generation, and the Asus ROG console handheld Ally, and the next Xbox console. It's all going to be Xbox consoles. Your TV is an Xbox. There's no such thing as a generation with a business strategy like this. It's massive. It's one that Sony even wants to implement, but they realized when it was already too late that they needed it. This was probably somewhere down the road in their plans, which when their documents leaked with the Insomniac leak, we saw that they want to do it. Here it is from Jess Gordon's article. IP powerhouse, then they're going to do live service, then they're going to do multi-platform and extend into PC and mobile. While they're doing that, Xbox is extending to TVs and printers. Okay, the printer part I made up. And refrigerators. I made that refrigerator part up too. But they're everywhere already, leveraging games and such, even to the point where as game development got more expensive, all of the stuff about exclusivity started to somewhat, linger towards PC as Xbox comes in and it sweeps it all up. Your next Xbox console? I don't know what to say, man. You see... Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. Okay. So again, I told you 2025. Told you guys last year. I said, look at the data. Look at what's going on in the gaming industry. I told you that the first place to start was here. This is everybody that wants to come into the gaming conversation has to first start here. Like this is your entry point. Do you know what your entry point is? The games that are constantly, almost always played on every given console. You see it? Once you get this entry point done, then you go to the availability of games, looking at the highest frequency of game releases each year. This is your second entry point, right? Which is on Steam, where the data is collated and gathered. Over 100,000 games across multiple generations. Steam doesn't have generations. Once the game runs, it runs, right? That's it. Then you go to, say, PlayStation, where about 3,000 games, 3,600 plus games have been launched on PlayStation. Xbox, it's about the same, actually a little more. Weird. 3,700 video games now. Sorry, the numbers kind of changed. Thinking and collating all this together, you can see where there's no room for you to sell exclusive games. If you do not have a proposition, or at least, the brand loyalty, not even brand loyalty, more like nostalgia that Nintendo basically monetizes. You can only monetize nostalgia so much. That's all I'm going to say. Go ask everybody and their daddy's favorite car, right? If the car was crappy quality or wasn't providing a good value proposition, they at some point abandoned it. That's Nintendo. I've been trying to tell everybody. People are like, what Nintendo? I'm like, shh. You watch and see. Okay? You just watch and see. So now, let's have a conversation based on what the market is doing. Let's have a conversation on what PlayStation can do. I don't want a world, and I'm going to caveat this video, where Xbox basically dominates at this propensity for another 24 months. The next 24 months is really going to shape gaming as we know it. That's what it's. This 24 months is very important. That's why 2025 saw Xbox dump 12 games, a dozen, bam, everywhere. They want to, first of all, capture the entire narrative. Whether it's positive, whether it's negative, it's all for their, it keeps them in the algorithms, in the trending, in everything. Xbox everywhere. Then they move in with their next plan. Break down the walls. Then they move in with their next plan. Capture and corner the market of their own competitor. Using PC to, basically in a sense, push themselves financially forward while paying money to block third-party games. But now they give you PC access. You get Steam access. PlayStation is going to play coy. They can't go back now. They've already told their investors that they're going to move their games thoughtfully off console. So they're not going to go anywhere. I was just saying they're going to block the games. Block what? They need to raise their margin by, 1 to 2%. And 1 to 2% is not a small fee. So they got to get work going. So they need these Xbox gamers to basically jump on that train and get those games from PC, because these Xbox gamers are not going to buy their PlayStation console. They've been staying on Xbox, so they have no need. So PlayStation wants you Xbox gamers to buy their games. Don't let anybody fool you. They want you to buy the games. They're not going to take them off of Steam. In fact, according to them, it seems like they're going to be putting more. Their live service games, man, they would be so happy if you actually said, you know what? Let me get on my Xbox and play, some of my games on Steam. And you fired up, say, Helldivers 3 or something. Right? They just delayed Marathon. Bro, I told y'all, man, that this whole game has changed. I'm not going to jump into any conclusions about who's cooked and who's winning in this video. I don't need it. Like I said, we got 24 months. God willing, nothing falls apart. We can carefully assess all this. And you guys will see again, if you can recognize this PlayStation that you see now from the Xbox that many of you have basically gone ahead to foment in your minds. PlayStation fanboys, I'm talking to you. If you be able to recognize them again, pay very close attention. But I say, follow the data. You won't be surprised. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace out.